Hey guys, Andy back here from Mediocre Hobbies, bringing you another painting tutorial. This time it's going to add another video into the playlist of the basic infantry of each and every army type. So like I've said in previous videos, I would like for you guys to be able to come to the channel and there'll be a playlist with at least one video for whatever army you do. So most of those videos will be the generic soldier, so a Cadian Footslugger or a Space Marine Infantry or a Skitarii, or you get the gist. So this video, we are going to focus on a Custodian Warden. So these are the bodyguards of the Emperor, pretty much the most powerful soldiers in the galaxy. And I'm super happy to bring you a video on these guys. We only used a couple of paints, a couple of tips and tricks. It's a very easy video to follow along with, and I think the results speak for themselves. So sit back, enjoy, and yeah, let me know what you think at the end. Okay, to begin the process of painting any Custodian miniature, I will be spraying them black, and then I will give them a all-over coat of the Retributor Gold spray. I know the Retributor Gold spray is quite expensive, but it is fantastic. The smooth coat you get for your gold to begin with, it's definitely worth the money. It also saves you a lot of time. So after that, the first thing we're going to do is move on to all of the red parts of the miniature. So I'm going to use the base paint Khorne Red, and I'm going to apply this to any of the parts of the miniature that are supposed to be red. So that is his big skirt cloth thingy, and he's also wearing leather gloves and a top knot, as you can see here. Why the Custodian Guard wear leather gloves, I don't really know, but it breaks up the gold nicely, so we're going to do that. Once we have the red applied to all of it, we are now going to move on to Abbadon Black. And we're going to break up the model even further by painting the majority of the haft of his Guardian Spear with the Abbadon Black paint. Before painting this part, I checked the box because I wasn't quite sure which parts of it. I for some reason, I had thought that the Guardian Spear was a lot more gold than it was. There's actually very little gold on it, which I took this to be a blessing. Like I said, something else to break up the amount of gold that is on this miniature. I also took the opportunity to paint all of the in-between armor panels, the soft seals of the armor, in black as well. Okay, that's all of the black parts done. Now we're going to move on and block in any of the metallic parts of the miniature using my old friend Leadbelcher. So once again, I refer to the box art to try and find all of the different metallic parts on the miniature, or silver parts should I say. Most notably all of the different parts of the Guardian Spear. He's also got some pipe work under his torso, basically where his ribs would sit, that I didn't realize was silver until checking the box. So that helped immensely. And then yeah, there was a couple of bits of pipe work on the back of the Guardian Spear. Basically the center pole of the Guardian Spear is supposed to be silver, so anywhere where that center pole is showing should be silvered out. And then anywhere on the bolters that are attached to the Guardian Spear, there's lots of those bits need to be silver as well. And surprisingly enough, that is all of the base coats done on the Custodian miniature. Now it's time to wash the entire thing. So the color I've gone for this is Reikland Fleshshade. This is a fantastic shade for going over gold and red. Not great for the silver part, but that's okay. We will be bringing that back up with more colors later on. And I'm not a big fan of shading with multiple colors. So I will go over the entire miniature with Reikland Fleshshade and wait for that to dry. Like I've said in previous videos, I like to load a lot of shade onto my brush. I'll basically lather the miniature in it, and then obviously before it all dries, I pull that shade into all the nooks and crannies that I need it to go into, and make sure that it doesn't pool anywhere. And this is the Custodian Guard all shaded down. Obviously not dry yet, but already looking so cool. Okay, now after the shade has dried, we are left with this. A model that looks fantastic, if not a little dull. So, we're going to use LIberator Gold to bring the gold back up and make it pop. What we're going to do with this is a dry brush. Nice, quick, easy, effective, and the results speak for themselves. I've known people who have layered this up, Custodian miniatures with a brush. It just takes so much time, and I don't even think it looks better than the dry brush. For this kind of gold, you got to remember that these guys' armor is literally 10,000 years old, if not older. So it's going to be a little tarnished. It's going to look a little kind of dark in places. And I think that just adds to the effect. Obviously I'm giving this a really good once over. Definitely want to drag the colour back up. And look at the half of the body that's done already. Stunning does that look. Not done. Done. Okay, now here's the miniature with all of the parts dry brushed. And that is a gold finished. And I am super chuffed with how that turned out. With the amount of little details on the model, it really suits the dry brush. Now we're going to go into Mephiston Red Air. And I'm going to use this to layer up all of the cloth and red parts again. And basically what I'm looking to do here is catch all of the raised areas of the fabric and leave all of those creases that nice dark washed down Khorne Red. This will make it pop immensely. We're also going to take the time to layer up the leather gloves and his head plume. Before anyone says it in the comments, I know that the gloves traditionally are painted in like a really dark brown leather color. Not really a dark brown, like a warm leather color. I just prefer to keep it red. I don't like adding too many colors into a paint job. And I think the red actually pops and looks great on these guys, so I stuck with that. And the result is this. I'm quite pleased with how the fabric turned out. You got to remember that this is a basic infantry. As ornate as he is the basic infantry for your army. So for characters and stuff, if you want to add an edge highlight, go ahead. Now it's time to bring all that metallic back up, and we are going to use Ironbreaker to do that. And all we're going to do is layer up all of the metallic parts of the miniature. So the huge blade at the end of his spear, any of the metallic parts of the gun workings, the pipe work under his ribs, all those bits and pieces. Add a little bit more brightness and pull the colour back towards silver, because we've hit it quite a lot with that gold dry brush. This is it with the silver all done. And like I said, we hit pretty much the entire model with that dry brush, which means a lot of the black details on the staff got covered in gold. So we're going to go back, touch those back up, and bring them much closer to black than they are to the burnished gold layer now. We don't need a completely smooth coat covering every bit. Anything left over will just look like a scratch. But do your best. This will obviously break up the gold and silver parts. And once you've layered up all those parts, it should look something like this. I think the Guardian Spear is starting to look pretty cool. Now it is time to add some of the tinier details. So I've got Blood Angel's red contrast. And all I'm going to do with this is fill in the silver in the eyes to give him that shiny eye lenses. When I was layering up the silver faceplate, I also painted his eye lenses in silver. So the contrast will go on fantastic over that. Next thing we're going to do is move on to another contrast, Talassar Blue. And this is for all the little gemstones and crystals that are around his armor. This one doesn't have too many, he's only got 3. Some will have a couple more. So just take your time, have a quick look around the model and try and find all of the little gemstones that are on your custodies and hit them with Talassar Blue. Straight over the gold, no other prep is required. It will work perfectly. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is a finished Custodian Warden. Obviously, I've put him on his base now. If you're wondering how I did that base, there'll be a separate video on that coming out soon. So keep an eye out for that if you like it. I think this model turned out fantastically. I do actually have an entire army in the backlog ready to get painted up. And now that I have a set scheme done, worked out, and I'm happy with how quick it is, I will be doing it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, think about supporting me, supporting the channel, subscribe. If you have any questions about what I did here or anything else in any of my other videos, please drop me a comment below and I will get back to each and every one of you. Don't forget to also like the video. I will see you guys in the next video.